Hey everybody, how is it going? It's me, Chris Herman, on deck, episode 47. Yes, another solo episode here at the Herman Agency from On Deck headquarters right here in the room. Today's topic is your customer. But before we get to today's topic, I'd like to remind you to take a moment. Please subscribe to the Herman Agency YouTube channel. Ring the bell so that you can get notifications when our new content goes live, when new episodes of On Deck go live. We've had a lot of great conversations and we've got a lot more coming up in store, which I'm really excited to bring to you. So just always want to encourage you to stay connected. Hopefully you're getting a lot out of the content, and we do look forward to, and I really look forward to the comments that we receive on the videos. They're very helpful. So, all right, there we go. Paid political announcement brought to you by me, Mr. Christopher Scott Herman, On Deck. So today's topic, again, is your customer, right? Your customer. Talking to my automotive dealer body here, our clients, our friends, our non-clients, those of you in the industry experiencing these interesting times here in October 2021. So this is my perspective on the customer experience right now, and I think that we would all agree. Your customer is fatigued. I'm going to say it again. Your customer is fatigued. Why are they fatigued? Number one, we've been a year and a half with all of this COVID stuff. It's a lot. I think people overall have a sense of anxiety and strain from having gone through life in the last year and a half. Doesn't mean that people aren't having a good time living life. I'm sure many of us are, thankfully, and God willing, all of you are doing well. But your customer's got anxiety in the first place, right? Not sure where it's safe to be, where it's not safe to be. Should they wear a mask? Don't wear a mask. Are you vaxxed? Are you not vaxxed? All that stuff. People have a lot of anxiety right now. And they're getting to the dealership for one of three reasons, primary reasons. Number one, they want to buy a new car. And as a dealer, what can you tell them? Well, we've got a very limited availability due to the chip crisis. And what we have available is at a premium. And, if you're not willing to pay the price, we got 7 other people that are ready to pay full price plus for this car. So they can't get the car that they want. It's not available. They're being told they have to pay a lot more than they normally would have. If they want a used vehicle, chances are they're being told essentially the same thing. Inventory is very limited. As a result, used vehicle values are at an all-time high. And if you want a used vehicle, you're going to pay a lot. My previous video, I talked about the used vehicle situation in our country in an article Dale Pollack had just written, basically talking about down payments are up, terms are up, payments are up, and average age of vehicle is up. So your customer is strained on the new vehicle side. They're strained on the used vehicle side. And where can they turn? Well, they got to keep their car, right? Many of them have to just keep the car on the road. Now, going into this, the average age of the fleet was 11 plus years old. So those cars are starting to age. They need service. And what should they find when they get to the dealership? Your service department is backed up because there's an increased demand to service vehicles, and you don't have enough techs, and you can't find enough techs because there aren't enough new techs coming into the business. So we've got kind of this shitstorm of stuff going on right now that your customer is experiencing. Now, we all know that in a lot of cases, most people don't particularly enjoy the dealership experience when everything's going great, right? When there's no COVID, got plenty of cars, plenty of used cars, values and pricing are appropriate, and they can get their car in for servicing. Even then, they don't really like it. Now, you've got a situation that is current and that is not ending anytime soon, that your customer, everywhere they turn when they come into contact with you, it's a friction point, right? So what do we do? What do we do in this industry to help relieve the fatigue and frustration that your customers are currently experiencing and are going to experience in greater numbers the longer amount of time that passes as this goes on? Because we're looking at least another year of this, in my opinion, based on what I'm hearing from all of our dealers. Minimum of a year, maybe a year and a half. your customer is going to start getting frustrated. It's not necessarily your fault, but they are. So what do we do? Well, there's really two avenues here. And one is really from our perspective, from my perspective, which is something that I've been saying for months and months and months now, which is just because you don't have cars doesn't mean it's time to stop talking to your customer, right? This whole just sit back, wait, and let them come in routine, not a good strategy. It's just not a good strategy. It's like being in a relationship with somebody that you care about and depend on and just not talking, not telling them what's going on, not letting them know what you're thinking, not letting them know what is going on in the context of your relationship. Those of you dealers out there that are not communicating to your customer base in some way about what's going on, that's essentially what you're doing. You're leaving your customer in the dark. And I'd be willing to bet that your customers don't all believe when you tell them these inventory situations and what they are. There's a good chance that many of them don't believe you. All right. They may think, oh, this is another scheme to make more money. Unfortunately, that's the case. So how do we alleviate that? Number one, start messaging from your dealership about what's going on. And what should you say? You tell them the truth. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, these are unique and extraordinary times. We're facing some situations in our industry that we've never faced before, and we are doing everything that we can to make sure that your experience with our dealership remains a positive one. So here's what we're facing. We're low on new vehicles. As a result, the prices have gone up. We're low on used vehicles. As a result, the values have gone up. We're doing everything that we can to source quality new vehicles and used vehicles for you. You may have to order ahead. You may have to wait a little while we source the right vehicle, but rest assured we're going to do everything that we can to find a quality vehicle for you at a reasonably affordable price. For those of you that are having difficulty getting in to service your vehicle, we understand. We're doing everything we can to manage record throughput in our service departments. Our technicians are working overtime to get all the cars through. We'd be willing to do this for you. We'd be willing to do that for you. But Mr. and Mrs. Customer, we want you to understand that this is a challenging experience for you too. You don't want to spend a lot of time on this particular area of your life, and we understand that. That's why we're here for you, and we're doing everything that we can to make your experience a good one here at the dealership. I can't stress how important it is for dealerships to be telling their customers that, and starting now, because this is going to happen in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, in 12 months. This is still going on to some degree. And the dealers that get out and tell their customers what's happening and what they're doing to make the experience better, they're going to be the ones that get ahead, without a doubt. They're going to be the ones that retain the strength of their customer base, and your customer base is everything right now. Okay, you know that. So on the marketing side, communicate. I will throw in something else from an operational perspective. You know, Brian Pash, we all know Brian Pash in our industry, and Brian Pash is getting ready to host another automotive attribution summit. I probably screwed that up. I think it's called AAAS. I've been to it. It's a great event. He's having it here in Florida this year. Unfortunately, I'll be out of town, won't be able to attend. But in the promotional video for this conference, Brian was saying something that I totally agree with. In addition, and he wasn't mentioning the messaging part, but he's saying now is the time to begin retooling your business operation, okay? You've got a lower amount of salespeople. You have the lowest employee counts you've had in a long time and extreme profitability. If there was ever a time to switch around your retail operation to be a more customer-centric, forward-facing, modern-day retail operation, now is the time to begin making that transition. Now, I think he was talking about moving towards a one contact selling system, i.e. the person handles the deal from, sales all the way through F&I and delivery. I've worked in dealerships a lot, but I'm not an expert on process anymore and what that would be. So I don't know if that's the best advice or not, but what I think is at the heart of what he was saying is if there was ever a time to step back and retool your organization to be prepared for the future, now's the time to do it. And I think he's absolutely right. Every business right now that is forward thinking and thinking about what their customer needs moving forward is retooling their business to be in line with what the customer wants. Your customer wants an easier experience. Your customer wants a more modern experience. And your customer wants to experience as little frustration as possible. That's not just going to happen overnight. That's not going to happen by itself. It's going to happen by you as a dealer taking time to communicate to your customer and say, here's what's going on. Here's the challenges we're facing. Here's what we're doing to make it better for you. And that can be a marketing message, and that can also be letting them know about changes that you're making in your operation to make their experience better. So I think it's really important right now to be thinking about your customer. And we're thinking about our customer. I mean, do we have dealers that are still spending money? Of course we do. But naturally not to the level that they used to, and not really on the mediums that we're used to seeing. Obviously, our focus is much more digital right now. Our service offerings have to be much more focused on helping our dealerships maximize, the conversion ratios on their website, and making sure that what's on their site is working well, that their leads are flowing properly into the CRM, that we're focusing on areas of low expense, right? Helping them retool their SEM campaign so there's no waste, helping them focus on meaningful ways to market their business via social. This is where we are focusing our efforts right now. Okay, we're not doing our big media spends and all that kind of stuff. That's not what our customers need right now. And what your customers need at the dealership is to know, A, what's going on, and B, what you're doing to help make their experience better. So I encourage you all to take a moment, really think about your customer. What are they going to need over the next 12 to 18 months as we go through these times? And are you communicating it? And are you actually walking the walk? So that's the message for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Think about your customer, how you can let them know what's going on with your business to make sure that they stay your customer for a long, long time. As always, I thank you for your time. I appreciate those of you that are listening to this content and sharing it and commenting on it. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to us here at the agency as we do everything that we can to market and communicate who we are as a business and why somebody would want to stay doing business with us or consider doing business with us. All right? Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day. It's Chris Herman on deck. See ya.